opinion. And they said all kind of really fascinating things that were so fascinating that I took all of it in consideration and researched every one of the objections and so on and so forth. And so then I talked to Cindy and we rewrote the article, 5 pages longer, and addressed everything. But the short of it is that one thing that was really interesting is that somebody said, who did not understand what I did at all, but I still agreed with her, that if she worked a horse, she wanted the horse to offer adhesion to the program. Adhesion as in mental adhesion, right? And she wanted the horse to participate. And she did not want to see the horse picked and prodded and pushed and etc., etc. And she wanted it all to be, as the word of the day is, cognitive, right? So I pretty much agree with her. The question is, cognitive means mental understanding, right? And how do you get mental understanding of the horse? Because you can't send him a memo. It doesn't work, does it? I mean, they don't read very well. Maybe you guys in Canada have superior horses, but ours, they don't read, right? So, when you think about that, if you want the horse to adhere to the program, he cannot do that if he's not relaxed. That's the first thing. Because the horse can be in one of two states. It's pretty simple, right? He's either relaxed or he's stressed. That's how they function, okay? So horses are designed to be relaxed pretty much 95% of the time. Because if they're not relaxed, they can't eat. And if they don't eat 16 hours a day, they die. Right? Everybody understands that part, right? And they're kind of addicted to eating because they're addicted to chewing. Right? Which is different from all kind of animals. I was watching a program yesterday about big snakes. And anacondas eat every 6 months. Literally. I mean, a pregnant female will not eat for 7, 8 months. Right? She'll eat something big, then she gets pregnant, then she sleeps. Voila. Right? Much better than women. You guys have to eat all the time. Right? So, horses like to be relaxed, right? And they're only reactive to stress, as in, fight or flight, right? Most of the time, for nothing, as we all know, right? 99% of the time that the horse jumps up in the air, put his ears up, his tail up, leave the scene, right? It's for nothing, because long-toothed saber tigers have long disappeared from Canada and the US, right? So they don't really have any reason to be scared, but they're just scared as an idea of being scared because it's genetically in them, right? And the smart horses, the one who understand the most, are the one who are the least scared. Am I correct? Right? Well, the ones who are the least scared are also the ones who become the smarter ones. Because they have more time to learn. And the ones who are more scared never learn anything. Because they spend their life being scared. Okay. So, if you want the horse to participate in the program, the first thing you want is, you want the horse to be relaxed. Right? Well, then you want the horse to be relaxed when he moves, because being relaxed in the stable, most of them can't manage that, right? So if you want the horse to be relaxed, okay, so let's go back one step. So this adhesion, collaboration, participation, cooperation, etc., that's another word for benevolent obedience. Does that sound right? You know what benevolent means, right? Of goodwill. That's what benevolent, right? But they still have to do your plan, right? Every woman here, are you all married? Yeah? Okay? So you all have the benevolent cooperation of your husband, right? And? Right? Which means he does your thing. Isn't that right? Yeah. Honey, I've been married a long time. Okay. He basically does your thing, and you call that cooperation. Right? Okay? Does it all the time. And he does it with no particular reward. He just does it because you've convinced him of a time that he should do it. Right? That's the general idea, isn't it? Okay. So, I have some objections about that from the marriage point of view, but from the horse's point of view, I think horses should do it because it has to become their idea. Right? So if you go backwards from there and you say, okay, to get benevolent cooperation, I need the horse to be relaxed. Okay? And I want the horse to be relaxed in movement. Well, he cannot be relaxed in movement if he's not in balance. Okay? And he cannot be in balance if he is not upright. Do you understand what I mean by upright? Yes or not? No. Okay. Okay. The horse, what does the horse stand up? You, me, the horse. Because what is the horse dealing with every moment of his living life? Gravity? Gravity. You cannot escape gravity. Right? Gravity is vertical. You know what upright means in French? We say aplomb. You know what aplomb is? Plumb line. Okay? So, if the horse... okay, so you watch somebody in the street that's walking all crooked. Well, this person is not upright. Okay? This person is also not relaxed, is he? Because if you're bent to one side all the time, all the muscles on that side are contracted. Correct? Okay. So, then you can't bend the other way. Right? So the horse, which by nature is asymmetrical, he's not symmetrical on both sides. Right? You know why? What's that?
Because none of us are.
Because?
Symmetrical.
Because? Because why?
Because we're the dominant side.
Because? Okay, I agree with that. Because?
Because one side of our brain works better than another.
Some don't work at all. But this is because?
Is it the way they're lying in the womb?
Have you had babies?
Yes.
Okay, do they stay in one place?
No.
Okay, so that one goes down the tube.
They get used to doing things a certain way.
Where's your heart?
I know it's because of the kidney, the placement of the kidney as well.
You heard me before.
With the kidney,
Yes,
one
I have.
kidney is,
You're cheating.
It's called embryogenesis. When you start, let me tell you the story of the birds and the bees. Okay. You have a little egg of the woman, and it's round and symmetrical. Right? It has no front, no back, no top, no bottom. It's just round. Right? Then you get a little sperm. Right? Now the sperm has got no top, no bottom, no left, no right, but it's got a front and a back. Right? It's got a little tail, a little head, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And then, woo, makes a baby. Okay? As the baby develops, okay, more and more pieces get added. Right? One day it gets a heart, and one day it gets a liver, and one day it gets lungs, and one day it gets eyes, and one day it gets fingers, etc., etc. Right? As the baby develops of any species who lives on Earth, right, it becomes asymmetrical. Because in the embryogenesis, there's a spiral effect. So all of the organs get to go one side or the other. You follow? Okay? So, and when you do that, okay, And then your brain doesn't do the same on the left and the right, and your liver is on this side, and your heart is on that side, your pancreas is here, and your colon goes a certain way, etc., right? All of that determine the fact that 80% of babies in the womb suck their right thumb 80% of the time. Right? So the majority of babies are right-handed, which we can see in the world. So the majority of horses, okay, who have a big spleen here on the left that they don't like to bend, right? Especially when they're resting and it's full of blood, okay? Don't put their left hind leg under their body very much. They put their left hind leg to the side a little bit, just a tiny bit. And if they put their left hind leg to the side, they have to compensate by putting their right shoulder to the right. Right? So when you're lunging a horse, have you noticed that most horses go faster when you lunge them to the right than to the left? Yep. Okay. And most horses fall out on the left circle but fall in on the right circle. Right? Okay. And most horses are more excited to the right than to the left. Tiny little bit. Etc., 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 right? So that's the only time you can really judge the asymmetry of the horse. Because when people ride horses, do you know why people, if you ask 10 dressage trainers, if horses are left-handed or right-handed, you're going to get 10 different opinions. You know why? They're not reading the horse, they're reading themselves. They're saying, in my appreciation of what I do, the horse is harder to bend left than right. And the other one is going to say, no, 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 no. The horse is harder to bend right than left. Right? And the other one is going to say something else. Okay. And you have authors who have said absolutely that all horses were left-handed. That doesn't mean the horses were left-handed. It means that they read them that way. Right? But the only time that matters is what they do when you launch them and you do nothing and you let them be what they be. Right? So as a result of that, everybody gets on the horse on the left side, because when you get on the left side, the horse gives you room to put your leg on the left a lot easier than on the right. You notice that? Have you tried to get on the right? It can't, it's awkward, isn't it? And it's not your legs because you have a dominant right leg. It's because the ribs of the horse are a little push to the right. Right? And the head of the horse wants to go to the left. So it's harder to bend them right to get on the right than it is on the left. So somebody figured that out 2,000 years ago, and everybody's been mounting on the left. Doesn't matter what country you go, they will mount on the left, not because they read books. I mean, the Mongols haven't read any book about horse riding, they mount on the left, that I have seen. See what I mean? So, when the horse is putting his right shoulder to the right, right, he's not just going like this, he's also going like this. He's also tipping a little bit. That's why you often see more club feet on the right than on the left, in general. Because the right leg are a little more contracted. And most horses that will do a big movement like Spanish walk, okay, most horses I've ever seen do a bigger step to the left than to the right. And they do a bigger change on the left than on the right, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so if we go back, to get the cooperation, you need relaxation. To get a relaxation, you need balance. To get balance, you need symmetry. To get symmetry, you need relaxation, right? Which is going to come if the horse goes forward first, and he's only going to go forward if he's obedient. So it's kind of a loop, isn't it? Right? So, at the end of the day, you can't get anything if you can't make the horse move as you want. Right? So you got to ask him a simple question first, and see how that works. This is a very expensive sauce. Yeah. So before I start anything else, so on that side, he's quite willing to go to his right shoulder, isn't he? You see that? He's not happy to bend left, and when I'm pushing, his shoulder is going out to the right, right? You have magnesium in your diet?
Yep.
You do? Okay, hold.
Why did you ask about the magnesium?
I think he needs more of it.
More of it? Okay.
Why?
Huh?
I feed magnesium to my horse. So
He's a
why?
little stiff.
Oh.
Okay, so I was going to say something. I want the horse, so for the, going back to this cooperation thing, right? I want the horse to do everything himself as much as possible, right? And I want him to understand what I want, okay? So he can only understand what I want if I identify what I want. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Because it may be a mind reader, but it needs to be a mind to read. Right? Come. That's what you mean. Come. So, if I identify what I want, say, this is what I want, right? The horse goes, okay, there's a silly guy, he's lunging me, but I don't know what he wants. But when I come in, he say, come, I come, he seems to like it, right? And he pats me and he said, good, okay? So the reward that you're giving to the horse serve as acknowledgement of the horse, approbation. Everybody wants approbation, right? You all want to be acknowledged for how wonderful you are when you're wonderful, correct? I don't know anybody that doesn't. Whatever they say, they lie if they don't say that, right? Okay? And at the same time, it serves as identification, okay? So if I do that again, what? Oh, come. Come is here. Right here. Boy, that's a very pretty crowd, man. That must be a Canadian thing, man. Huh? More of it? Okay, so he's getting to understand what I want, but come. Good. There you go. Good boy. What? He's a little more awake now. Oh, come. Good. Oh, here. I still love you, so no problems. See, I don't want him to be calm just because I don't do anything. He's got to be calm if I ask him to do something. Right? Here, come. Come. Good. So, what do I want him to do?
Focus on you.
Huh?
Focus on you.
Okay? Which is here, right? So if I say come, it's here. Okay? Not left, not right. Okay? So, what am I giving him to make him do that?
Reward.
And,
Praise.
and,
Relaxation.
and, blah, blah. It sounds good, but it's not true.
I just stopped having to do it.
Huh?
He stopped having to do something.
Right, but I give him punishment too.
When he doesn't follow it.
Right, punishment, okay, in scientific terms, is just saying, no, no, there's a consequence. Yes, okay, positive reward is, not positive encouragement, or positive reinforcement, excuse me, is a reward when he does the right thing. Positive punishment is a consequence, a negative consequence when he doesn't do what you want. Okay. Horses cannot learn without the two. Right? I don't want him to be guessing for half an hour what the hell I want. You follow what I'm saying?
So you make the situation uncomfortable.
And I'm saying, no, 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 not right, not left, no, here. Yes, yes, thank you. So, what? So every time he does anything that resembles what I want, what? I tell him, boy, okay. Oh, come, 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 ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, come, 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 come. Come, come, come. Okay, okay. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Oh. That was a lot better, wasn't it? Right? So, if I want the horse to give me adhesion to the program, cooperation, etc., 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 I've got to tell him. And if I don't tell him clearly, he's just not going to do it. Right? You know, my wife has a little trick that I'm sure none of you have. Right? She talks about whatever, 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 and I'm meant to be listening. Right? She's checking if I'm listening. Well, of course I'm not listening. A, because I'm busy doing something else. B, because I don't care. Right? So then she said to me later, well, I've been telling you for half an hour. That's not true, it was 10 minutes, right? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And I said, if you want me to listen to you, say, please listen now. I will drop my computer and listen. Or I will tell you I don't want to listen. But don't let me guess that you want me to listen. The fact that I'm listening to you or not is not a proof of love. Right? It's just a proof that I'm busy or not busy. Okay? So, you've got to be clear. I've got to talk to the horse and say, this is what I want. And yes, this is what I want. And no, this is not what I want. And if you do that, you get their brain engaged and it becomes cognitive. You follow? And if you don't do that, they'll never learn anything. And if they never learn anything, they can't do it themselves. And if they can't do it themselves, they can't cooperate. Because they don't know what there is to cooperate to. You follow? And most people I watch ride, right, with their thumb up their ears and they're brain neutral. Like the guy driving the tractor in the 1,000-acre field, listening to the radio. Okay. Come, 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 come. Come, 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 come. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, don't avoid me. Good. Now, if I apply impulsion to the horse by clicking, right, and it walks up to me straight, what does that resemble? Huh? But when you ride, what does that resemble? pushing the horse on the bit. Okay, if I'm clicking at first, what is he doing? He's saying, I've got to leave. He's looking for the left, he's looking for the right. He's not looking here. Come here, come. Come, come, come. 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 Good boy. Good. Oh. Nothing to stop. Come. 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 So where's his head now? Good. Then he stopped. Right? So his head was centered on me, and when I put impulsion, instead of being worried about it, he moved more towards me. But he did not push me. Right? And when I stopped, he stopped before he touched me. Okay? That's the horse in front of the legs and behind the bit. I said a bad word there. Didn't I? Okay, think about it. Come. Up, up, up. Okay, he has to be behind the bit. If I'm the bit, and he follows the bit, he can't be on it. He has to follow it. At the same distance all the time. Up, up, up. Good. Up. Good. Do you understand what I'm saying? So instead of looking to go out every single time that I'm clicking, at first after I touch him on the body, go, oh my God, I got to fly, I got to leave. You got all nervous, right? And I'm saying, no, impulsion is fine, right? Impulsion to the bridle is fine. Impulsion to me is fine. You don't need to leave. So now he's getting the idea that, now he's stopping at a respectable distance, right? So when you stop the horse with the rein, do you want the horse to stop 2 inches later or 2 inches before? Exactly. That is called following the bit at a respectful distance. You don't want him to stop 200 yards before, because that's the horse that does not want to go into the show ring. You follow? And that has nothing to do with the bit. It has to do with the horse not respecting to go forward. Okay? And you don't want him to stop 2 inches beyond, because that's the horse pulling on the reins. You follow? So the whole idea of behind the bit is B dot S dot. Because nobody actually wants that. But they don't stop thinking about it. Because they think that the horse being on the bit with a contact, right, is the proof of his impulsion and the proof of his balance. The proof of his balance is that he stayed at the same speed all the time. And the proof of his impulsion is that he stays at the same speed all the time. Self-propulsion, self-balance. You follow? Self-carriage is the word. Right? Now, out of this, what do I get? Do I have a relationship with this horse? Huh? Now, did I have a relationship the second I walked in? Yes, I did. Are you kidding? When I got in there, he looked at me and he did that. Immediately. Did I beat his ass a little bit last time I was here? Do you see how much he likes me? Do you like me? Yes, you do. They all do, as a matter of fact. And the funny thing is, the more I beat their ass for the right reason, the better they like me. Okay? Now, does any of you ladies know the sense of the word placating? You don't know what placating means? Oh, you got to be joking. Huh?
Soothing or getting on.
Accommodating, getting along, blah, 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 blah. How many of you women do that? Let's be honest here. Let's have a blind vote. About everybody, right? Okay. Now, do you know people who do unrequited love? You know unrequited love. You know what that means, right? Love that you're not asking for. Somebody sends you flowers at the office every single day, and you don't even know what the guy looks like. That's unrequited love, right? Is that good or is that bad?
That's a creeper.
Huh? That's a what?
It's a creeper.
A what?
A creeper.
A creeper. Yes. Nobody wants unrequited love. Okay? Does placating, accommodating, etc. gets you anywhere? No, it doesn't. Does it? It doesn't, because the lady's not interested. Right? Because if you want the lady to be interested in you, I'm told, I've read that in the book, she's got to respect you first. Right? She's got to admire you in some way. Intellectual, physical, financial, you name it, but it has to be something that makes the lady goes, oh, this guy's kind of interesting. Oh, he happened to be the boss. Oh, he's the guy with the nice car. Whatever you got going for you. Right? So, a relationship cannot happen without respect. Am I correct or am I wrong there? Okay? Once you get respect, okay, and you show the person that you can be trusted, right? For instance, the lady shows up at the date, can be trusted. The parents don't beat up the kid out of reason, can be trusted. The cop doesn't give you a ticket at 52 miles an hour, can be trusted, right? Then you can have a relationship. And if that relationship is pleasant, it can become friendship and love. But you can't start with love. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You can't start with love. The problem is that women, excuse me for making a generality here, like this love thing so much that my friend Pat Pirelli has made it his motto. Love, language, and leadership. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay? The order should be leadership, language, well, it should be language, leadership, and love. Either way you look at it. Love is at the end, it's not at the beginning. You need to have a shared experience. If you guys love me before I've done anything for you, you're silly. You know? Yeah. So, now that we've got all of that taken care of, right? He is ready to listen to me, so I'm going to see if I can relax him. I bet you it's going to be not too difficult. All right. So we're going to go right here. So the first thing is, I'm going to teach him how to move. looks pretty relaxed, right? Now, Dawn has done that lots of times, right? Okay, so it's kind of easy. But the way it starts, I'm sure we'll have a horse that has not done it yet, right? The way it starts is that the horse, when you start to touch them with something that is mildly annoying but not painful, is that they try to get away from it, right? Like another fly. Okay? So you first got to convince them to stand. And then when they stand, so right now he's ignoring me. His knee's not doing anything. So if he's ignoring me, I'm going to go louder till you relax. And when you relax, and you say, that's what I want. I want you to be relaxed. Okay?